Hi, my name is Elizabeth Gonzalez, and this is my informative speech over the importance of depression and how to cope with it. I myself have struggled with depression since about the age of 7 or 10 when I lost my grandmother. She was my best friend, and it's just something that I was never able to get over, and everything that has happened since then I have not been able to cope with due to not coping with her passing away, and it has just added on to each other and just progressively gotten worse. But now it's getting better because I'm actually seeking help, which is not something you should be embarrassed of. But millions of people worldwide suffer from depression. Not only is it a widespread illness, but it also carries a lot of very harmful side effects. It can lead people to isolate themselves and just stop seeing all the goodness and all the happiness that life has to offer, which can lead them to self-harm or even worse. Depression is not something that should be taken as a joke or overlooked in any way possible. What is the importance of depression? Depression is a worldwide mental illness that affects a great portion of the population, young and old. In a depressive disorder article at World Health Organization article by Woody C.A., it states approximately 280 million people worldwide struggle with depression today, and that was of 2023, so this was a very recent study. Depression is not only widespread, but it can carry many harmful side effects that should not be taken lightly. In a major depressive disorder article at Mayo Clinic website, clinical psychologist Craig Sawchuk, PhD, LP, stated some of the side effects of depression can include feelings of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness, or hopelessness, angry outbursts, irritability or frustration, even over very small matters, loss of interest or pleasure in most normal activities such as hobbies or sports, i.e. like isolating yourselves, not going out with your friends anymore, not talking to anyone anymore, which is what I do sometimes. I just kind of stay in my room to myself, especially since I've moved to college, and it's just not something you should do. It's not very healthy. You need to get out. You need to see people. It's just good for the soul to go outside. So now that we know the importance of depression, how do we cope with depression? What are some ways that we can deal with it? In a how to cope depression article at NHS website, these 7 tips are listed. Stay in touch with your friends, your family, talk to them, go out, see them, meet them somewhere. Be more active, go to the gym, take a walk outside. You don't necessarily have to do anything that exerts your body. Just at least go outside, take a walk. It's good for the soul. Okay, face your fears. And don't drink too much alcohol. Alcohol is a depressant. It's a known depressant, and the more you drink, usually it can make you sad, which makes you have bad decisions because you're impaired, and it's just not a good mix together. Try and eat and maintain a healthy diet. I've heard them say this before, and I believe that it can work. When you're eating healthy, you just tend to feel better about yourself. Have a routine. Make a routine for yourself. I'm not saying like you have to schedule your day-to-day every single day, but wake up, shower at a certain time, make sure you shower every day, make sure you feel good about yourself, do some self-care, make sure that you reserve time for yourself, for your family, for your school, everything. Don't just like overwhelm yourself with a bunch of stuff. I also do that. I overwhelm myself with homework. It could be due Sunday and it's Monday, and all of a sudden I'm doing all of my work, everything that I have, when I really should just do my work that's due Monday or Tuesday and go work out or go see my friends. But instead I just lock myself in my room and do everything in 1 to 2 days. And seek help for depression. This means like going and talking to your family members about it, telling someone about it, not having them look at you and figure it out, because most of the time people can't and they just overlook the smallest things. But talk to your family about it. Get a therapist. Even though some people think that getting a therapist is, oh, it's so embarrassing, like you can't tell anyone, it's not that big of a deal. Many people have therapists and you don't know about it. Actors have therapists, musicians have therapists, your friend could have a therapist, maybe your parent does. A lot of people do, and you just don't know. It's not something that you broadcast, but it's not something you should be embarrassed of either. So now that we know the importance of depression and how to deal with it, why do us as college students need to know any of this? Why is this important to us? In a college student and depression article at Mayo Clinic Health System, Reese Dunkermill, a clinical social worker in psychiatry and psychology, states, a recent study found that 1 in 3 college students experience significant depression and anxiety. Being aware of these risk factors and symptoms can help with the early identification and treatment of depression. This is something serious for college students. We really don't want to pay attention to the severity of it. We just kind of brush it off. It's not a big deal. But it's shown that when you move from your family and your friends in your hometown, you're here by yourself. You don't know anyone, especially when you're a freshman and first year like I am. You just have to get out there and make friends. I have anxiety. That's hard for me, but I was able to do it. Even if it was just in my classroom, talk to someone. They're probably just feeling as scared and as overwhelmed as you are. Talk to them, ease them a little bit, they'll ease you. But you have to reach out, you have to make friends, because if not, you're gonna end up just getting worse, especially if you come here with depression. This is not something that you just need to not be worried about and you're like, oh, I'll be fine. You don't seek any help for it, nothing. You need to seek help for it, especially if it gets worse and it just keeps getting worse. This is not something you take lightly. Now that we know all this information, what do we do with it? 280 million people worldwide suffer with depression, which is not something that should be overlooked. Depression comes with many side effects, making people stray away and keep away from their friends, their family, and just the joy of life and everything about it. These effects must be accepted. They have to be accepted. They're not something that you can just, oh, okay, like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. In the long run, it is a big deal. If you have depression and you don't do anything about it, you can take it out on your relationships. If you start isolating yourself from your friends, you're gonna lose those friends. They're not gonna wanna hang out with you anymore if every time you ask to hang out, you tell them no, because you'd rather just stay isolated by yourself. No, you have to go out, you have to see your friends. You have to reach out to them, they'll reach out to you, and you just have to maintain that relationship and hang out with each other. No matter how hard you just wanna stay by yourself, you have to get out there. When depression is a mental illness that people of any age can suffer from. And in college students, it's become severe due to being away from their family, friends, from everyone, from your safe place, because where you've always been is with your family. And in my case, I've always been in the same town since I was 2 years old. And those are the people I grew up with, and I just left all of them. Maybe like 2 or 3 came up to A&M with me, but really not that many did. And it's overwhelming, but you just need to put yourself out there, make friends. I promise it'll make your life so much better, and you need it. You need friends up here. You can't just isolate yourself and be alone all the time. It's not gonna work. This speech that I have given was to inform and educate my audience on the importance of depression and how to cope with it. Depression is not a joke. If you or anyone you know is suffering, please check on them and make sure they're okay daily. It's not just like a one-time, hey, are you okay? And they'll say, I'm fine, I'm okay. Because usually people with depression don't really just like jump at anything. Like if you say, are you okay? They're not just gonna be like, no, I'm not okay, I have depression, I don't feel good. I think, no, they're not gonna jump out and say that. They're not going to. You have to check on them daily, and don't push them, don't peer pressure them to come out and tell you what's wrong. Just asking if they're okay and hoping and telling them you wish they have a good day every day. That's something that'll make their day and make them feel better, and over time they'll open up to you, and it's something you have to do. It's just not just one thing. It has to be a daily occurrence. And keep in mind that it is not embarrassing to have a therapist. I just want you to remember that, because I know that if any of my friends have a therapist, they think it's so embarrassing, and they'll make up all these excuses and lies as to why they can't go out or can't go do something, when really all it is they have a therapy appointment. It's not a big deal. It's not at all. Do it. If it's good for you, do it. It should not be something embarrassing. People should not pick on you for having a therapist. It's just something that happens in the world we're in now. Depression is this huge thing, especially because of social media showing us fake lives. People only post what they want you to see. They're not going to post all the bad things. They're just going to post the good things, the things that make them look good and make it look like they're having fun. Don't pay attention to that. You shouldn't be embarrassed. You should not be embarrassed. If you have depression, don't be embarrassed. A lot of us do. I'm not saying we all do, but a lot of us do, especially in college. You can find someone, there's so many resources for it. And here, this is something that I know a lot of people don't want to hear, and this might be a little trigger for some people, but over 2/3 of the 30,000 reported suicides each year in the US are depression related. Don't let that next number be you or your friends or anyone you know. Check on them, make sure they're okay, make sure you're okay. If you need help, get that help. Take care of yourself, take care of your friends, your family, everyone. Just make sure if you need it, if you need the help and you think you do, then go get it. Everyone is willing to help everyone. We all are kind of struggling with the same things. Even if it's not as severe as someone else's is, just help them and talk to them. I swear you'll make their day better. Thank you.